Hello, I want to welcome you back to Retired Farm Boy channel. My name is Jeff. Today's video is things to know and understand before retiring, part one. I got a couple of different areas that I want to cover, and I think the videos would turn out to be too long if I went with both of them. So my two categories are financial considerations and social and mental aspect of retiring. Today's video is going to focus on the financial considerations of retirement. Now, this video is geared towards the people that are getting close to retirement. They're say 5 years or closer to retirement. You know, that's when you get pretty serious about retiring and you start making sure that you've got your T's crossed and your I's dotted, so to speak. And you know, you make sure you're getting the debt down or eliminated. You know, you're adding as much as you can to your retirement savings, and you're developing the kind of lifestyle that you want to do in retirement. But you need to bounce that up, always bounce that against what resources you have going into retirement. It's very important to not just say, I want to go start traveling around the world if you don't have the resources to do that. So be realistic with the lifestyle that you're looking forward to in retirement. So financial decisions. First one I want to talk about is the big boy, when to take Social Security. Now this is a topic that there's unbelievably amount of videos and research and papers and that you can do on this topic. You can take Social Security as early as 62, and a lot of videos will say that's where you got to go. Why are you waiting? Take it as soon as you can get it. And then there's tons of things that will say wait till 70, because that's when you can maximize the Social Security benefit that you will draw from the government. Neither one of them are wrong, but neither one of them are actually right. I think, to me, this is one of those things that is so personal and it's so important of a decision that you really need to put some time into it. You know, there's many reasons why you may retire between 62 and 70. Your health might be a reason, might even be the reason that you retired. So you may want to take Social Security benefit as soon as you can. Perhaps you've got other income streams coming in, and you like rent from some homes that you own, real estate that you have. Maybe that will keep you from having to take Social Security so early and let your benefit grow. There's all kind of variations like that and everything else in between that you need to take into consideration. This is a very personal decision, but I also can't underestimate enough how important this is, because once you jump in there taking Social Security, you are where you are. And I think you can send all your money back and maybe unretire from Social Security, but you won't do that. You're likely going to put yourself in line of where you choose to retire. And another thing to consider too is, and why people will say you need to wait till 70 to start drawing, is your benefits going to be so much more than it was if you started at, say, 62 or somewhere in between there. But I've run the numbers enough to know that for almost everybody, and I've never found a situation where it wasn't like this. Age 78 to 80 is where you hit that break-even point for Social Security, whether you took it early or whether you waited till as long as you could to take it. That benefit, dollar-wise, is going to start hitting each other around those ages. Obviously, anything beyond that break-even point, if you waited till 70, you're going to get some benefit from that. But don't also think that that's the only reason you need to wait. There may be other reasons that make you want to take it early as well. That's my biggest advice with Social Security. It's very up to you. Make sure you make that right decision. Next topic I want to talk about is the withdrawal percentage from your retirement savings. Now, my last video was talking about withdrawal percentages and what I plan to do in retirement as far as withdrawing. So So I'm going to add a link to that video at the end of this one, and I hope you'll go back and watch that. I mean, I truly hope you go back and watch that video. It could really help me out for views and such. But this withdrawal percentage, I know you've all heard the 4% rule. You may have even heard Dave Ramsey calling out an 8% rule. There's no rhyme or reason about what percentage you should withdraw. Again, it depends on many factors. One that you need to think about a little bit is, is the stock market. If the stock market's doing good like it is now, you can probably afford to take a higher percentage because the stock market is going to make up for that, and perhaps even more. On the other hand, if the stock market was losing, you might want to consider lowering that percentage for a while that's happening, so you won't be taking as much out of your funds to supplement your lifestyle. So that's a big topic, and again, a lot of thought needs to go into it. And also, don't think that you can't adjust that rate. You can adjust it month to month and year to year if you'd like, and it's your money, right? So you can make it whatever you want it to be. Budget. So you should have a pretty good idea. You should have been practicing budgeting and know what your spend is right now. And you should also be working on trying to figure out what your budget will be once you retire. There's many different ways to go when you retire. You got to make sure that your budget, if it changes drastically, then you've got to take that in consideration. For instance, if you want to travel a lot when you retire, your travel budget is likely to go up because you probably didn't have the chance while working to go and travel as much as you might want. On the other hand, things like your gas bill for your vehicles is likely to go down because you're not driving to work. Maybe your clothes budget will go down because you're not having to buy clothes to go into the office and work. So keep those factors in mind. You're not going to know exactly how much those factors will change, but just try to estimate it to the best of your ability and make sure that your future budget aligns with the resources that you have in retirement. Excuse me. So going into retirement, there's several things that might also factor in. Do you plan on working once you retire? A part-time job or maybe even a full-time job for a while. That's fine if you do that. I know some people that took a part-time job. They weren't ready to totally draw away from working. It is something that should be considered because it is, you are going from 100 to 0 on that, and you may want to ease into it some. That's something to consider. Relocating to a different state or area where the cost of living is lower. You see a lot of people that do that, and more power to them if you want to do that. I think you should always try to put yourself in the best spot that you can. My side of the family is all living around here, and some of my wife's family lives around here as well. So moving to somewhere else was really not something we even considered. We like being around family. We like doing things with our family, seeing the grandkids and so on and so forth. So that wasn't a factor for me, but it might be for you, and you need to make sure you take into account all the different things that go along with that. Make sure you're not missing something if you plan to relocate. Make sure you do a good job of researching the area and know exactly what you're walking into by doing that. One thing you don't want in retirement is surprises, really, so that's what I'm trying to say. Downsize is another thing. You see a lot of people sell the big house and buy a smaller home or condominium or something like that even. That's another way to put yourself in a better situation for retiring. It's a good way to make sure you have resources to live the lifestyle that you want. And the last one here I'm going to harp on from a financial consideration is health insurance. Please make sure you plan very diligently on this. Everyone needs to think about having health insurance. I can't imagine myself going without health insurance. Now, when you turn 65, you can start participating in the Medicare. You get some benefits there from the government on insurance. But prior to that, you're sort of on your own if you retire before 65. And just make sure that you go out and whether it's COBRA from your job that you can take, or perhaps from other various insurance plans that are out there. There are many out there. They can be expensive. So I know a couple people that really are risking it. They retired prior to 65, and they didn't go and get health insurance. They're winging it, so to speak. I've talked to them about this and told them, man, what a risk you're taking. And it's like, well, I've been healthy my whole life. I hardly ever go to the doctor. I think I'll be okay, and I won't have to pay out that money for health insurance. I don't think that's a good decision at all. And you're putting your future at risk if you were to have a medical problem. Without insurance, man, it's going to really tear you down as far as the finances side of that. So always keep that in mind. That's the end of today's video. I hope that you enjoy it, and we'll learn something from it. I'll have part 2 coming out at a later time. Until then, like I always say and fully believe, retirement is great.